The story of Dragon Age Origins is the story of the rise of the hero of Ferelden and the decisions he or she makes as the newest recruit of the ancient order of the Grey Wardens. Rumors abound about this individual all across Thedas, and no one can seem to agree on exactly who this person was, where they came from, or what specific skills they excelled at. Even the crucial decisions that determined whether they were a savior or an opportunist are still debated among the citizens. So what is the truth? Well, the truth can be hard to suss out with so many voices offering different opinions. What we do know is that they came from somewhere, that they have an origin story. It's important to remember that Dragon Age Origins is a game of many choices, and although we will explore some in the origin stories of this and future parts, the outcome will inevitably be the same. In the last part of the full story of Dragon Age Origins, we explored the origin story of the dwarf commoner. Now we head to the Circle Tower in the middle of Lake Calenhad, where the mages of Ferelden call home.
On a cliff overlooking the dark waters of Lake Calenhad stands the tower fortress that is home to the Circle of Magi. This tower is the only place in Ferelden where mages may study their art among others of their kind. Within the high stone walls, the Circle practices its magic and trains apprentices in the proper use of their powers. But the Circle Tower is as much a prison as a refuge. The ever-vigilant Templars of the Chantry watch over all mages, constantly alert for any sign of corruption. This gilded cage is the only world you know. Found to be sensitive to magic at a young age, you were torn from your family and grafted here as an apprentice. Now, that apprenticeship is nearly over. All that remains is the final test, the Harrowing.
Magic exists to serve man, and never to rule over him. Thus spoke the prophet Andraste as she cast down the Tevinter Imperium, ruled by mages who had brought the world to the edge of ruin. Your magic is a gift, but it's also a curse. For demons of the Dream Realm, the Fade, are drawn to you and seek to use you as a gateway into this world.
This is why the Harrowing exists. The ritual sends you into the Fade, and there you will face a demon, armed with only your will.
What happens if I cannot defeat the demon?
It will turn you into an abomination, and the Templars will be forced to slay you. This is Lyrium, the very essence of magic, and your gateway into the Fade.
The Harrowing is a secret out of necessity, child. Every mage must go through this trial by fire. As we succeeded, so shall you. Keep your wits about you, and remember the Fade is a realm of dreams. The spirits may rule it, but your own will is real.
The apprentice must go through this test alone, First Enchanter. You are ready.
We are Solona Amel, and we've been living in the Circle as long as we can remember. We know we had parents once, maybe even siblings, but we no longer remember their faces or their names. We have worked hard through our apprenticeship, and now our final task to becoming a full mage stands before us. The Harrowing. What exactly happens and how we pass the test is a closely guarded secret among the senior enchanters, so we need to be smart, ready, and alert. We recognize this place though, don't we? This is the place we go to when we sleep, when we dream. The Fade. Opening our codex, we can read about the Harrowing. Among apprentices of the Circle, nothing is regarded with more fear than the Harrowing. Little is known about this rite of passage, and that alone would be cause for dread. But it is well understood that only those apprentices who pass this trial are ever seen again. They return as full members of the Circle of Magi. Of those who fail, nothing is known. Perhaps they are sent away in disgrace. Perhaps they are killed on the spot. I heard one patently ridiculous rumor among the circle at Ravane, which claimed that failed apprentices were transformed into pigs, fattened up, and served at dinner to the senior enchanters. But I could find no evidence that the Ravani circle ate any particular quantity of pork. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genetivi. Turning left, we can look at a disturbing statue and receive the codex page, Beyond the Veil, Spirits and Demons. It is challenging enough for the casual observer to tell the difference between the Fade and the creatures that live within it, let alone between one type of spirit and another. In truth, there is little that distinguishes them, even for the most astute mages. Since spirits are not physical entities and are therefore not restricted to recognizable forms, or even having a form at all, one can never tell for certain what is alive and what is merely part of the scenery. It is therefore advisable for the inexperienced researcher to greet all objects he encounters. Typically, we misuse the term spirit to refer only to the benign, or at least less malevolent, creatures of the Fade, but in truth, all the denizens of the realm beyond the veil are spirits. As the Chant of Light notes, everything within the Fade is a mimicry of our world, a poor imitation, for the spirits do not remotely understand what they are copying. It is no surprise that much of the Fade appears like a manuscript translated from Tevinter into Orlesian and back again by drunken initiates. In general, spirits are not complex, or rather they are not complex as we understand such things. Each one seizes upon a single facet of the human experience: rage, hunger, compassion, hope, etc. This one idea becomes their identity. We classify as demons those spirits who identify themselves with darker human emotions and ideas. The most common and weakest form of demon one encounters in the Fade is the Rage Demon. They are much like perpetually boiling kettles, for they exist only to vent hatred, but rarely have an object to hate. Somewhat above these are the Hunger Demons, who do little but eat or attempt to eat everything they encounter, including other demons. This is rarely successful. Then there are the Sloth Demons. These are the first intelligent creatures one typically finds in the Fade. They are dangerous only on those rare occasions that they can be induced to get up and do harm. Desire Demons are more clever and far more powerful, using all forms of bribery to induce mortals into their realms. Wealth, love, vengeance, whatever lies closest to your heart. The most powerful demons yet encountered are the Pride Demons, perhaps because they, among all their kind, most resemble men. From Beyond the Veil, Spirits and Demons by Enchanter Mirdramel. Continuing down the path, we come across a wisp wraith that is easily dispatched, and we can read about these creatures. A great deal is made of the most powerful demons, those that create abominations, and those that have changed the history of Thedas. It is often forgotten that not all demons are such awe-inspiring beings. Some that break through the cracks in the veil into our world are known as wisps, a sliver of a thought that once was. A wisp is a demon that has lost its power. Either it has existed in our world for too long without finding a true host, or it has been destroyed often, so we found, by other demons. What remains of its mind clings tightly to the one concept that created it, a hatred of all things living. While its ability to target a living creature is limited, these wisps often mindlessly attack when encountered in the Fade. In the living world, they often have been known to maliciously lure the living into dangerous areas, being mistaken for lanterns or other civilized light sources. This does, however, seem to be the very limit of their cunning. From the journal of former senior enchanter Malleus, one of the Circle of Ravane, declared apostate in 920 Dragon Age. We face more wisps as we make our way around the path until we come across a mouse.
Someone else thrown to the wolves, as fresh and unprepared as ever. It isn't right that they do this, the Templars. Not to you, me, anyone.
You're a talking rat.
You think you're really here, in that body? You look like that because you think you do. It's always the same, but it's not your fault. You're in the same boat I was, aren't you? Allow me to welcome you to the Fade. You can call me, well, Mouse.
You can change your shape?
Like I said, in this place, you are what you perceive yourself to be. I think I used to be like you. Before. The Templars kill you if you take too long, you see. They figure you failed, and they don't want something getting out. That's what they did to me, I think. I have no body to reclaim. And you don't have much time before you end up the same.
That's not going to happen to me.
That has been said before, but you don't know the danger. There's something here, contained, just for an apprentice like you. You have to face the creature, a demon, and resist it. If you can. That's your way out. Or your opponents, if the Templars wouldn't kill you. A test for you. A tease for the creatures of the Fade.
Why pit me against such a creature?
A question for those in the tower. Maybe you'll be lucky enough to ask. Maybe someday, so will I. There are others here. Other spirits. They will tell you more. Maybe help. If you can believe anything you see. I'll follow, if that's all right. My chance was long ago, but you may have a way out. A dangerous spirit is not far. Don't go near it unless you're ready to fight.
So that's our task. We must face a demon and survive. Continuing on, Mouse comments on the area.
That is where the test will take place. The creature can be anywhere, but it manifests there.
Up ahead, we face more wisps, and we see a twisted structure that gives us a codex page on the Black City. No traveler to the Fade can fail to spot the Black City. It is one of the few constants of that ever-changing place. No matter where one might be, the city is visible. Always far off, for it seems that the only rule of geography in the Fade is that all points are equidistant from the Black City. The chant teaches that the Black City was once the seat of the Maker, from whence he ruled the Fade, left empty when men turned away from him. Dreamers do not go there, nor do spirits. Even the most powerful demons seem to avoid the place. It was golden and beautiful once, so the story goes, until a group of powerful Magister Lords from the Tevinter Imperium devised a means of breaking in. When they did so, their presence defiled the city, turning it black, which was perhaps the least of their worries. From beyond the veil, Spirits and Demons by Enchanter Mirdramel. To the south, we see a spirit standing by a rack of weapons. Approaching
Another
it.
Spirit this way.
Another mortal thrown into the flames and left to burn, I see. Your mages have devised a cowardly test. Better you were pitted against each other to prove your mettle with skill, and to be sent unarmed against a demon.
You know why I'm here?
You are not the first sent here for such testing, nor shall you be the last, I suspect. That you remain means you have not yet defeated your hunter. I wish you a glorious battle to come.
What else do you know about the Harrowing?
Is that what your test is called? I know little of your mortal ways. I do know that a demon has been called, and told that a meal awaits. It will not, cannot leave, until one of you is dead.
What kind of spirit are you?
I am Valor, a warrior spirit. I hone my weapons in search of the perfect expression of combat.
Did you create all these weapons?
They are brought into being by my will. I understand that in your world, mages are the only ones who can will things into being. Those mortals who cannot must lead such hollow, empty lives.
Would one of these weapons affect the demon?
Without a doubt. In this realm, everything that exists is the expression of a thought. Do you think these blades be steel? The staves be wood? Do you believe they draw blood? A weapon is a single need for battle, and my will makes that need reality. Do you truly desire one of my weapons? I will give one to you, if you agree to duel me first. Valor shall test your mettle as it should be tested.
What are the rules of this duel?
If I believe you capable of slaying the demon, I will stop the duel and give you the staff. If I find you unworthy, I will slay you. I trust those rules are simple enough to remember, mortal.
I agree to your duel, Valor.
As you wish, mortal. Do you understand the rules I explained to you?
Yes, I understand.
Our duel begins now. Fight with Valor!
Valor is, as his name suggests, and fights bravely, but we are able to overpower him.
Enough. Your strength is sufficient to the task. The staff is yours.
So we're done, I hope.
We are indeed. May you find glory in all your achievements, mortal.
Equipping the staff, we can head higher up the ridge, and we now face spirit wolves instead of wisps. With Valor's staff, they are no match. As we continue on, Mouse has more to say.
Cautious. There is another spirit here. Not the one hunting you, but still.
And soon we see the demon he was talking about laying on the ground.
So, you are the mortal being hunted, and the small one, is he to be a snack for me?
I don't like this. He's not going to help us. We should go.
No matter. The demon will get you eventually, and perhaps there will even be scraps left.
What do you know about this demon?
I know that you will fail your test, and he will eat you. Be gone. Surely you have better things to do than bother Sloth, mortal. Oh, I tire of you already.
Why are you called Sloth? What are you?
I am a spirit of Sloth. Yes, a creature of the Fade. Unlike yourself, mortals are ever the visitors here. Still, you serve your function. Only the mortals like yourself are truly annoying.
Are you talking about dreamers?
Many mortals dream. They come here often, but you are not one of those. You are aware, a mortal with power and will, the sort of creature that some spirits hunger for. I might be inclined for such a meal myself. It would be interesting to see the mortal world through your eyes, live inside your form. But I am disinclined to begin such a struggle.
Lucky me.
Indeed. Now, what do you want with me?
I need help defeating a demon.
You have a very nice staff. Why would you need me? Go. Use your weapon, since you have earned it. Be valorous.
He looks powerful. It might be possible that he could teach you to be like him.
Like me? You mean teach the mortal to take this form? Why, most mortals are too attached to their forms to learn the change. You, on the other hand, little one, might be a better student. You let go of the human form years ago.
I don't think I'd make a very good bear. How would I hide?
You could help me fight the demon.
It's true. I am quite powerful in this form, when I wish to be.
I welcome the opportunity, if it is my choice. The mages in the tower are quick to volunteer others, as you well know. I'll try. I'll try to be a bear, if you'll teach me.
That's nice. But teaching is so exhausting. Away with you now.
I told you he wasn't going to help us.
You can't just suggest something and then change your mind.
I can't. You have so much to learn about the Fade, little mortal.
Mouse wants to learn. Teach him.
You wish to learn my form, little one? Then I have a challenge for your friend. Answer 3 riddles correctly, and I will teach you. Fail, and I will devour you both. The decision is yours.
I accept your challenge, Sloth.
Truly? Oh, this gets more and more promising. My first riddle is this. I have seas with no water, coasts with no sand, towns without people, mountains without land. What am I?
A map?
Correct. Let's move on. The second riddle. I'm rarely touched, but often held. If you have wit, you'll use me well. What am I?
My tongue?
Yes, your witty tongue. Fair enough. One more try, shall we? Often will I spin the tale, never will I charge a fee. I'll amuse you an entire eve, but alas, you won't remember me. What am I?
A dream?
You are correct. Rather apropos here in the Fade, no? But you've won my challenge and proven yourself an amusing distraction. So, I shall teach you my form. Now, listen carefully.
Like this? Am I a bear? It feels heavy.
Close enough. Go then, and defeat your demon, or whatever you intend to do. I grow weary of your mortal prattling.
And with that, we now have a valorous staff and a bear companion. It's time to face this demon. As we head back to the arena surrounded by fire, we get attacked by more spirit wolves, and then Mouse takes us aside to speak with us.
I've never felt this way before. It's strange.
How have you survived here for so long?
I missed my chance, so I became small, unnoticeable. I hide from the bigger things, learn from the smaller things. There are places you can hide where the shadows go on forever. You stay there long enough, and the shadows begin to creep inside of you. I don't know how long it's been. Forever, maybe.
The Templars simply killed you?
That is what happens to the physical bodies of apprentices who fail. They'd kill every mage if they could. All the Templars see in magic is danger, and they don't just use the Harrowing. If you learn a little too much, they'll label you a blood mage and kill you on sight. True mages like you know that the power you hold is a gateway to greater things, a potential they can never hope to contain.
You're getting a little crazy, Mouse.
Am I? I'm sorry. There are people who don't go to the Circle of Magi, you know, who don't obey the Templars. They are hunted, but at least they're free. You don't want to lose yourself here. Being nothing would be easier than this.
Do you want to die?
I think you should finish your harrowing.
When the conversation ends, we see a fiery figure waiting for us. Approaching it.
And so it comes to me at last. Soon I shall see the land of the living with your eyes, creature. You shall be mine, body and soul.
Then come and get me, if you can.
Oh, I shall. So this creature is your offering, Mouse. Another plaything as per our arrangement.
I'm not offering you anything. I don't have to help you anymore.
Oh. And after all those wonderful meals we have shared, now suddenly the mouse has changed the rules.
I'm not a mouse now, and soon I won't have to hide. I don't need to bargain with you.
We shall see.
The demon is a tough fight and calls on Wisps to help him, but he's no match for us.
You did it! You actually did it! When you came, I hoped that maybe you might be able to, but I never really thought any of you were worthy.
The demon said Mouse had brought him meals in the past, that they had an arrangement. What else hasn't Mouse told us? Sounds like your help was unusual. Why?
You made me believe in you. You're a true mage. One of the few. The others, they never had a chance. The Templars set them up to fail, like they tried with you. I regret my part in it. But you have shown me that there is hope. You can be so much more than you know.
So what is it that you think you can get from me?
You defeated a demon. You completed your test. With time, you will be a master enchanter with no equal. And maybe there's hope in that for someone as small and as forgotten as me. If you want to help, there may be a way for me to leave here, to get a foothold outside. You just need to want to let me in.
Oh, we get it. Very clever. I'm starting to think the other demon wasn't my test.
What? What do you... Of course it was! What else is here that could harm an apprentice of your potential? You are a smart one.
Simple killing is a warrior's job. The real dangers of the Fade are preconceptions, careless trust, pride. Keep your wits about you, mage. True tests never end.
Are you all right? Say something, please.
Where am I? Is this the Fade?
You're in the dormitory. Take a deep breath. You're safe. Oh, I'm glad you're all right. They carried you in this morning. I didn't even realize you'd been gone all night. I've heard about apprentices who never come back from Harrowings. Is it really that dangerous? What was it like?
We're friends, but don't ask this. You know I can't tell you.
So much for friendship. I'll leave you alone then. And now you get to move to the nice mage's quarters upstairs. I'm stuck here and I don't know when they'll call me for my harrowing.
They'll summon you to the test when you're ready.
I've been here longer than you have. Sometimes I think they just don't want to test me.
What are you talking about?
The Tranquil never go through a harrowing. You do the harrowing, the Rite of Tranquility, or you die. That's what happens.
They're not going to kill you, Jowan.
They might not. But the Rite of Tranquility is just as bad, maybe worse. You've seen the Tranquil around the tower, like Owain who runs the stockroom. He's so cold. No, not even cold. There's just nothing in him. It's like he's dead but still walking. His voice, his eyes are lifeless.
What did they do to him?
He's been made tranquil. I don't know how they do it exactly, but you're cut off from the Fade. It takes away your magic abilities, along with your dreams and emotions.
How awful.
Apprentices can ask to be made tranquil if they fear the harrowing, but the Circle also forces tranquility on those they feel are weak, and sometimes they force it upon apprentices they think might be too dangerous as mages. I shouldn't waste your time with this. I was supposed to tell you to see Irving as soon as you woke up.
What for?
He didn't tell me. About the harrowing, I'd guess, but you'd never know with Irving. You'd better not keep him waiting. We can speak later.
Did you hear anything? Is she all right? Is she awake?
Why do you care? Are you best friends now?
I'm just curious. That Templar, Cullen, said it was the quickest, cleanest harrowing he'd ever seen. He says she's very talented and very brave.
Well, he would, wouldn't he?
I just know I'll be terrified when my time comes. Like Wendell was. He'd throw up every day for the next week just thinking about it.
Growing up in such an insular community, gossip is practically like a currency here. The others have been noticing how Cullen looks at us and honestly how we look back at him. But we can't think about that now. We just survived our greatest test, and now First Enchanter Irving wants to speak with us. Plus, something Jowan said really set us on edge. The Rite of Tranquility, no more emotions and no more magic, and they can force it on mages. All these years we knew the Tranquil in the tower, seen them, maybe greeted them on occasion, but we never really stopped to ask why they are that way and if they were always like this, or even if they chose to be tranquil. It's a chilling thought, one we can't seem to shake. We know what will cheer us up. Heading to the entrance to the tower, perpetually guarded by Templars to keep the mages from leaving, we approach.
Shh, we're on duty. Yeah, there's no one here. Someone's always watching. I swear it's like the walls have eyes. Shh.
Oh no, they don't mean Jowan, do they? No, it's just a coincidence. Walking up to Templar Bran...
Yes, is there something you need?
That's a big door.
Yes, it is. Do you need something, or are you just here to state the obvious?
Oh good, we must not have caught him on door duty before, otherwise he would know we're having a laugh at him. What's out there?
For Eldon, it's not very interesting. Mostly farms, the occasional river.
Oh dear, this is just too easy. Can I leave the tower?
No, you may not. I'm surprised you ask. I would have thought you'd be used to this idea by now.
Why can't I leave?
Only mages on official circle business are allowed to leave the tower, and the first enchanter has not informed us of any mages leaving the tower today.
He sounds irritated. I suppose that's enough. I should get going.
Make a smile fortune on you.
There's so little to entertain here in the tower, we must find amusement where we can. Heading into the library, we can eavesdrop on a lesson.
Must control the fire with your will. Keep the flames steady. We don't want it sputtering and leaping about. That's what causes most of the injuries. Injuries? But... Steady. It reacts to your emotions. If you panic, it will... No. Breathe. You know, in my experience, flint and tinder works just as well. Maybe we should start with that.
Continuing on through the library, we see another lesson taking place.
Do any of you remember what the Chantry says about magic?
Magic must serve man, and not rule over him.
Very good. And what do you think that means? Can anyone tell me?
Only boys can do magic.
Hey! No, that's not what it means.
It means that magic should be used to help people, but we can't use our magic to force people to do what we want.
That's right. We should not abuse the gift the Maker has given us.
We've heard this all our lives, and so will they. There's a book on the shelf that will give us a codex page on the Fade. The study of the Fade is as old as humankind. For as long as men have dreamed, we have walked its twisting paths, sometimes catching a glimpse of the city at its heart, always as close as our own thoughts, but impossibly separated from our world. The Tevinter Imperium once spent vast fortunes of gold, lyrium, and human slaves in an effort to map the terrain of the Fade, an ultimately futile endeavor. Although portions of it belong to powerful spirits, all of the Fade is in constant flux. The Imperium succeeded in finding the disparate and ever-shifting realms of a dozen demon lords, as well as cataloging a few hundred types of spirits before they were forced to abandon the project. The relationship of dreamers to the Fade is complex. Even when entering the Fade through the use of lyrium, mortals are not able to control or affect it. The spirits who dwell there, however, can, and as the Chantry teaches us, the great flaw of the spirits is that they have neither imagination nor ambition. They create what they see through their sleeping visitors, building elaborate copies of our cities, people, and events, which, like the reflections in a mirror, ultimately lack context or life of their own. Even the most powerful demons merely plagiarize the worst thoughts and fears of mortals and build their realms with no other ambition than to taste life. From Tranquility and the Role of the Fade in Human Culture by first enchanter Josephus. On our way out of the library, we can witness one more lesson, an important one.
Concentrate, hold the shield.
With all my power behind that spell, you would have been obliterated. I am not your enemy. Fear is your enemy. It is a weakness that can be exploited. Should you face a demon with your will wavering so, it would consume you. Is that what you want?
No?
Then stand firm and know you can resist whatever I throw at you. Again.
Heading into the atrium that leads up to the next floor, we can pick up another book and we get another codex page called Mana and the Use of Magic. Mana is that which defines a mage. It is potential that dwells within a person but does not always manifest itself. All men are connected to the Fade, we go there to dream, but only those with this potential may draw upon its power. Mana is, then, a measurement of one's ability to draw power from the Fade, and it is this power that is expended in magic. As in all other things, it has its limits. Just as a man has the strength to lift only so much weight and no more, a mage cannot work more magic at one time than his mana allows. If he wishes to work magic that would be beyond his strength, a mage must bolster his mana with lyrium. Without lyrium, it is possible for the reckless to expend their own life force in the working of magic, and occasionally ambitious apprentices injure or even kill themselves by overexertion. From the lectures of first enchanter Wenceslas. Now we can head up to the next floor. When we arrive, we see a group of Tranquil around the stockroom, including the one Jowan mentioned, Owain. Speaking with him.
Welcome to the Circle's stockroom of magical items. My name is Owain. How may I assist you?
Are you really a Tranquil mage?
I voluntarily submitted to the rite of tranquility. I was unwilling to undergo the harrowing. I find this state agreeable.
What is it like not having emotions?
I see the world with clarity. I remember the days when my mind was filled with inconvenient and seething emotions. Now things are simple.
What happened during the Rite of Tranquility?
I was ordered to never speak of it. I cannot go against the Circle's wishes.
What was becoming tranquil like?
It is difficult to describe. I would perhaps compare it to being plunged into a pool of ice-cold water.
I should go now.
Very well. Goodbye.
If we were unnerved by the idea of becoming tranquil, now we were downright horrified. We really hope Jowen's fears are unfounded. Heading into an adjacent library, we can speak with Senior Enchanter Sweeney.
Oh, hello. I don't believe we've met. Are you new to the Circle?
You might remember me as an apprentice.
I'm sorry. There are so many of you, and I get confused. Not to mention, these old eyes are starting to go.
Everyone makes mistakes.
You're too kind. I'm old and about to fall apart. Nothing in the world can fix that.
You should rest more, not be in the library.
But I enjoy the library. These books, they're old friends of mine. And it's quiet. When you're my age, you'll appreciate the quiet. Anyway, did you need something?
I just wanted to talk.
I'm not good at talking. Too much chatter makes my head throb. Don't you have lessons to get to? Shoo!
That was rude. Maybe it's not just his eyes that are going. We pick up multiple books with codex pages on the schools of magic, specifically Primal and Creation, and the hierarchy of the Circle. It is no simple matter, safeguarding ordinary men from mages, and mages from themselves. Each Circle Tower must have some measure of self-government, for it is ever the Maker's will that men be given the power to take responsibility for our own actions, to sin and fail, as well as to achieve the highest grace and glory on our own strength. You, who will be tasked with the protection of the Circle, must be aware of its workings. The First Enchanter is the heart of any tower. He will determine the course his Circle will take. He will choose which apprentices may be tested and made full mages, and you will work most closely with him. Assisting the First Enchanter will be the Senior Enchanters, a small council of the most trusted and experienced magi in the tower. From this group, the next First Enchanter is always chosen. Beneath the council are the Enchanters. These are the teachers and mentors of the tower, and you must get to know them in order to keep your finger on the pulse of the Circle, for the Enchanters will always know what is happening among the children. All those who have passed their harrowing but have not taken apprentices are mages. This is where the most trouble in a Circle lies, in the idleness and inexperience of youth. The untested apprentices are the most numerous denizens of any tower, but they more often pose threats to themselves due to their lack of training than to anyone else. Knight Commander Serene of the Chantry Templars, in a letter to his successor. Opposition in all things. For earth, sky. For winter, summer. For darkness, light. By my will alone is balance sundered, and the world given new life. Threnondies 5:5. The School of Creation, sometimes called the School of Nature, is the second of the schools of matter, the balancing force and complement of entropy. Creation magic manipulates natural forces, transforming what exists and bringing new things into being. Creation requires considerable finesse, more than any other school, and is therefore rarely mastered. Those mages who have made a serious study of creation are the highest in demand, useful in times of peace as well as war. From the Four Schools, a treatise by First Enchanter Josephus. Those who oppose thee shall know the wrath of heaven. Field and forest shall burn, the seas shall rise and devour them. The wind shall tear their nations from the face of the earth. Lightning shall rain down from the sky, they shall cry out to their false gods and find silence. Andraste 7:19. Sometimes called the School of Power, the Primal School is the second of the schools of energy, balanced by spirit, and concerns the most visible and tangible forces of nature itself. This is the magic of war. Fire, ice, and lightning, devastation. This is what the vast majority imagines when they hear the word magic. From the Four Schools, a treatise by First Enchanter Josephus. At one of the desks, we see a young man studying a very large tome.
Do you need something? If not, step back. You're in my light.
Your light?
I'm trying to study. Have some consideration for a fellow mage.
You're just an apprentice, not a mage.
I will be soon. I have studied hard, and this opportunity will not pass me by. This is a chance for me to prove I can achieve as much as any human. Many humans believe elves are only fit to be servants.
I don't believe that.
Many humans do. I suppose it isn't entirely your fault. With so many elves living in alienages apart from humans, it's difficult for you to get a true idea of who we are. Ironically, many of us don't know who we are either.
What do you mean?
Elves have lived under human rule for so long that much of our history and culture has been lost. As a mage, I have an opportunity to prove myself.
That sounds like a noble goal.
Thank you. But I should get back to my books.
Thank you for talking with me.
Good day.
We presented magic very young. So young we have only fleeting memories of our life outside the tower. Adric may well be right that elves are treated poorly outside these walls, but the only elves we've known have been mages like us, and our merits tend to be judged on our abilities, not our race. At the back of the library, we overhear two mages having a discussion.
That's not. The Chantry would do something before it came to that.
Will they? They haven't done anything, and I've heard that the Equitarians are starting to soften a little on the libertarian position.
Sympathy for the position isn't the same as support. Yet. As far as I know, most Equitarians prefer to remain allied with the Loyalists. You can see why, don't you? Just think of what the Chantry would do if suddenly the Circles were petitioning for more independence, or even a split.
Won't be pretty.
Those short-sighted libertarians. They'll get their way and take us all down with them.
Approaching them.
Hello. Congratulations on your harrowing last night. Good work.
What were you talking about earlier?
The Fraternities of the Enchanters. You probably haven't heard of them. It's best not to get tangled up in circle politics. More trouble than it's worth, really.
Tell me about the fraternities.
They're found in all circles throughout Thedas. Groups of enchanters who hold similar viewpoints, who band together to make their voices heard. The most influential fraternity are the Equitarians. They are moderates and believe in a code of conduct that all mages should adhere to. Then there are the Chantry apologists, the Loyalists. The Chantry says something and they follow it to the letter. The Lucrosians just want to make money, and the Isolationists would like us all to be hermits and live on an island. Then, of course, there are the Libertarians. They want more power for the Circle, more autonomy.
Which do you belong to?
Well, if I had to, I'd say I was an Equitarian, but I ducked out of the fray a long time ago. Most of the senior enchanters are Equitarians. Irving, Wynne, Sweeney. Ulrid's a Libertarian, and a loud one at that. Mages have enough opposition from the outside without tearing our circles apart with infighting. But what can you do?
Giving up doesn't help anyone.
An idealist, I see. Well, if you're going to change the world, you should get started immediately. Lots of world to cover.
After speaking with Senior Enchanter Torin, we get a codex on the Fraternity of Enchanters. Another aspect of circle life is the fraternity. When a mage becomes an enchanter, he may ally himself with a fraternity. These are cliques that cross circle boundaries, mages of common interests and goals who band together to ensure that their voice is heard within the College of Magi in Cumberland. The largest fraternities currently are the Loyalists, who advocate loyalty and obedience to the Chantry, the Equitarians, who advocate temperance and follow a distinct code of conduct which they believe all mages should hold themselves to, the Libertarians, a growing fraternity publicly maintaining greater power for the circles, but secretly advocating a complete split from the Chantry, a dangerous opinion naturally. The Isolationists, a small group that advocates withdrawing to remote territories in order to avoid conflicts with the general populace. The Lucrosians, who maintain that the circle must do what is profitable first and foremost. They prioritize the accumulation of wealth, with the gaining of political influence a close second. So far, an alliance between the Loyalists and Equitarians has prevented the Libertarians from gaining much headway, but there are signs that the Equitarians may throw their support in with the Libertarians. If that happens, many mages predict it will come to civil war among the circles. From the Circle of Magi, a history by first enchanter Josephus. We can also speak with the other mage named Niall.
Hello, were you looking for something?
What were you talking to that other mage about?
Oh, the fraternities. Groups of mages with a common agenda. I think we should all be isolationists. Stay in some remote mountain town, far away from the mundanes who hate us.
Why don't you go off then?
I'd go hide alone in the wilds if I could. But you know they just brand me an apostate and hunt me down. There is no leaving the circle. It's till death do us part. Romantic, isn't it?
Apostate?
If you leave the circle, you become an apostate. And the punishment for leaving is death. Pretty grim, huh?
There must be mages who aren't part of a circle.
I've heard of hedge witches who've managed to survive on their own, eluding the circle for a lifetime. But if the Templars discover them, well, you know what happens. Then there are stories about the Dalish elf clans having great magic. But who knows what's truth and what's fiction when it comes to the Dalish?
Who are you?
I'm Njal, a mage just like you. I've seen you around, haven't I? I must have.
I can't stay to chat.
All right. Have a good day.
Fraternities, politics, it's never been something we considered before. Since we passed our harrowing, maybe we should start. Behind Njal, we can get another codex page from a bookshelf on entropy. To you, my second born, I grant this gift. In your heart shall burn an unquenchable flame, all-consuming and never satisfied. Fraternities 5-7. The first of the two schools of matter, entropy is the opposing force of creation. For this reason, it is often called the School of Negation. Nothing lives without death. Time inevitably brings an end to all things in the material world, and yet in this ending is the seed of a beginning. A river may flood its banks, causing havoc, but bring new life to its floodplain. The fire that burns a forest ushers in new growth. And so it is with entropic magic that we manipulate the forces of erosion, decay, and destruction to create anew. From the Four Schools, a treatise by first enchanter Josephus. On another bookshelf, we can get the final codex page on the schools of magic, Spirit. And the voice of the Maker shook the Fade, saying, In my image I have wrought, my firstborn. You have been given dominion over all that exists. By your will all things are done, yet you do nothing. The realm I have given you is formless, ever-changing. Fraternities 5-4. The first of the two schools of energy, Spirit is opposed by the Primal School. It is the School of Mystery, the Ephemeral School. This is the study of the invisible energies which surround us at all times, yet are outside of nature. It is from the Fade itself that this magic draws its power. Students of this school cover everything from direct manipulation of mana and spell energies to the study and summoning of spirits themselves. By its nature an esoteric school, as most others know virtually nothing about the Fade, studies of spirit magic are often misunderstood by the general populace or even confused for blood magic, an unfortunate fate for a most useful branch of the study. From the Four Schools, a treatise by first enchanter Josephus. Heading back into the hallway, we eventually see Cullen, the Templar the others were gossiping about, the one we are infatuated with and we think feels the same. Speaking with him.
Hello. I'm glad to see your harrowing went smoothly.
Hello, Cullen.
They picked me as the Templar to strike the killing blow if you became an abomination. It's nothing personal, I swear. I'm just glad you're all right, you know?
Would you really have struck me down?
I would have felt terrible about it. But I serve the Chantry and the Maker, and I will do as I am commanded.
Maybe we could go elsewhere and continue our discussion.
Elsewhere? What do you mean?
I've seen the way you look at me.
Oh, my goodness. If you're saying what I think, well, that would be really inappropriate, and I couldn't. I should go.
Oh dear. That didn't go at all how it does in the romance books we've read. How embarrassing. In one of the rooms, we can get a codex page on the cardinal rules of magic. You must not be under the misimpression that magic is all-powerful. There are limits, and not even the greatest mages may overcome them. No one, for instance, has found any means of traveling, either over great distances or small ones, beyond putting one foot in front of the other. The immutable nature of the physical world prevents this, so no, you may not simply pop over to Minrathos to borrow a cup of sugar, nor may you magic the essay you forgot in the apprentice dormitory to your desk. You will simply have to be prepared. Similarly, even when you send your mind into the Fade, your body remains behind. Only once has this barrier been overcome, and reputedly the spell required 2/3 of the lyrium in the Tevinter Imperium, as well as the lifeblood of several hundred slaves. The results were utterly disastrous. Finally, life is finite. A truly great healer may bring someone back from the very precipice of death when breath and heartbeat have ceased, but the spirit still clings to life. But once the spirit has fled the body, it cannot be recalled. That is no failing of your skills or power, it is simply reality. From the lectures of First Enchanter Wenceslas. We can enter the Mage Laboratory and get a codex page on Maleficarum off of a table. It has been asked, what are Maleficarum? How shall we know them? I have been as troubled by this question as you. You have come to me for the wisdom of the Maker, but none have seen the Maker's heart, save beloved Andraste. And so I have done as all mortals must, and looked to the words of his prophet for answers. And there I found respite from a troubled mind. For she has said to us, magic exists to serve man, and never to rule over him. Therefore I say to you, they who work magic, which dominates the minds and hearts of others, they have transgressed the Maker's law. Also, Our Lady said to us, those who bring harm without provocation to the least of his children are hated and accursed by the Maker. And so it is made clear to me, as it should be to us all, that magic which fuels itself by harming others, by the letting of blood, is hated by the Maker. Those mages who honor the Maker and keep his laws we welcome as our brothers and sisters. Those who reject the laws of the Maker and the words of his prophet are apostate. They shall be cast out and given no place among us. From the sermons of Justinia I. There's a senior enchanter in here, but we can't speak to her until later, so continuing on, we reach the chapel, where we get a codex page on the founding of the Chantry. Cordelius Dracon, king of the city-state of Orlais, was a man of uncommon ambition. In the year 15 Ancient, the young king began construction of a great temple dedicated to the Maker, and declared that by its completion he would not only have united the warring city-states of the south, he would have brought Andrastrian belief to the world. In 3 Ancient, the temple was completed. There, in its heart, Dracon knelt before the eternal flame of Andraste and was crowned ruler of the Empire of Orlais. His first act as emperor, to declare the Chantry as the established Andrastrian religion of the empire. It took 3 years and several hundred votes before Olessa of Montsemard was elected to lead the new Chantry. Upon her coronation as divine, she took the name Justinia, in honor of the disciple who recorded Andraste's songs. In that moment, the ancient era ended and the divine age began. From Ferelden, Folklore and History by Sister Petrine, Chantry Scholar. And we receive a codex page on the rite of annulment from a book. In the 83rd year of the Glory Age, one of the mages of the Navaran Circle was found practicing forbidden magic. The Templars executed him swiftly, but this brewed discontent among the Navara Circle. The mages mounted several magical attacks against the Templars, vengeance for the executed mage, but the Knight Commander was unable to track down which were responsible. 3 months later, the mages summoned a demon and turned it loose against their Templar watchers. Demons, however, are not easily controlled. After killing the first wave of Templars who tried to contain it, the demon took possession of one of its summoners. The resulting abomination slaughtered Templars and mages both before escaping into the countryside. The Grand Cleric sent a legion of Templars to hunt the fugitive. They killed the abomination a year later, but by that time it had slain 70 people. Divine Galatia, responding to the catastrophe in Navarra and hoping to prevent further incidents, granted all the Grand Clerics of the Chantry the power to purge a circle entirely if they rule it irredeemable. This rite of annulment has been performed 17 times in the last 700 years. From Of Fires, Circles, and Templars, A History of Magic in the Chantry by Sister Petrine, Chantry Scholar. Praying by an altar, we see a young woman named Kylie. Approaching her,
"Blessed art thou who exists in the sight of the Maker."
It would be rude to disturb her prayers.
"Blessed are the penitents who seek his return. Blessed is the prophetess, purified by flame. May the chant reach the Maker's ears and tell him of our contrition, so let it be." Oh, I didn't see you there. I recite the Maker's blessings every day. It brings me peace in troubled times.
Are you in trouble?
No, not really. It's just... I don't want to bore you with this.
I'm sure it isn't boring.
It gives me hope that one day the Maker will hear us. That maybe I'll be forgiven and my curse will be lifted.
Curse?
Magic? What else?
You don't like having this power?
Magic causes such misery. It's dangerous and vile and wicked. The Chantry must protect the world from us. Being born with something so terrible must be a punishment. I wish I could be rid of it.
We would be lying if we said that not having magic would make our lives better. We would have a home, a family, and in low moments, we feel the same as Kylie. So do I, but I make do.
Perhaps this is just something I will have to suffer through. I should go. My mentor only allows a few minutes each day for religious contemplation.
We see another woman, a priest, praying at a different altar, but we can't speak with her now. So continuing on, we finally reach Irving's chamber.
Many have already gone to Ostagar. Wynne, Aldred, and most of the senior mages. We've committed enough of our own to this war effort.
Your own? Since when have you felt such kinship with the mages, Gregor? Or are you afraid to let the mages out from under Chantry supervision, where they can actually use their Maker-given powers?
How dare you suggest?
Gentlemen, please. Irving, someone is here to see you.
What's going on?
Nothing concerning you at this moment. Come, child.
This is...
Yes, this is she.
Well, Irving, you're obviously busy. We will discuss this later.
Of course. Well, and where was I? Oh, yes, this is Duncan of the Grey Wardens.
What's he doing here?
You've heard about the war brewing to the south, I expect. Duncan is recruiting mages to join the King's army at Ostagar.
Who are we fighting?
The Darkspawn threat grows in the south. We need all the help we can get.
What do you mean?
The power you mages wield is an asset to any army. Your spells are very effective against large groups of mindless Darkspawn. I fear if we don't drive them back, we may see another blight.
Duncan, you worry the poor girl with talk of blights and Darkspawn. This is a happy day for her.
We live in troubled times, my friend.
We should seize moments of levity, especially in troubled times. The Harrowing is behind you. Your phylactery was sent to Denerim. You are officially a mage within the circle of magi.
Thank you, First Enchanter.
I'm sorry, what is this phylactery?
Blood is taken from all apprentices when they first come to the tower, and is preserved in special vials.
So they can be hunted if they turn apostate.
We have few choices. The gift of magic is looked upon with suspicion and fear. We must prove we are strong enough to handle our power responsibly. You have done this. I present you with your robes, your staff, and a ring bearing the Circle's insignia. Wear them proudly, for you have earned them.
Thank you.
It goes without saying that you shall not discuss the Harrowing with those who have not undergone the rite. Now then, take your time to rest, or study in the library. The day is yours.
I'd prefer to talk now.
Impetuousness is ever the province of youth, I see.
I will return to my quarters.
Would you be so kind as to escort Duncan back to his room, child?
It would be my pleasure.
The guest quarters are on the east side of this floor, close to the library. Now, if you'll both excuse me, I have matters to discuss with Gregor.
We get some codex pages that we've read in previous parts, and we can speak with Duncan before heading off to his quarters.
Thank you for walking with me. I'm glad for the company.
I wanted to talk to you a little more.
Yes? What about?
Why were Irving and Gregor arguing about the war?
It is not my place to comment.
Please, I'd like to know.
Gregor serves the Chantry, and the relationship between the Chantry and mages has always been strained. You've realized by now that the Chantry merely tolerates magic? They watch only because they feel they must.
Yes, but they were arguing about the war.
Any mages who join the King's army can unleash their full power on the Darkspawn. In fact, I'm counting on it. Gregor may be afraid of what will happen. What if the mages decide they no longer want to be governed by the Chantry?
What are your opinions on the matter?
I believe we must defeat the Darkspawn, one way or another. My opinions end there.
We should continue on our way.
Yes, let's.
Duncan's quarters are just a quick trip down the hallway, and when we arrive, we can speak to him again.
Is there something else I can do for you?
What's happening outside the tower?
I imagine you don't leave very often, do you?
We are permitted to walk the grounds.
And thus a good view of the other side of the lake? It must feel rather isolated way out here. I am not a good source of news, I fear. I am preoccupied with the Darkspawn incursion.
Have you ever seen someone use blood magic?
Once, in my youth, just after I joined the Grey Wardens. I was traveling with my mentor. We encountered a group of Templars hunting a blood mage. They were quite far away, so I cannot be sure of what I saw. He forced some of the Templars to turn on their fellows. It was dreadful to behold. He would have escaped had he not overlooked one Templar who snuck up behind him and cleaved his head in two.
Blood magic is evil.
There have been mages within the Grey Wardens who have needed to resort to blood magic to deal with the Darkspawn. It is something to consider, certainly.
How many mages have joined the King's army?
When the King sent out the call, the Circle of Ferelden sent only 7 mages to Ostagar. I asked King Kaelin's permission to come and seek a greater commitment from the Circle.
7 is quite a few.
I hope to place a mage or 2 within every contingent. I cannot do with just 7. Mages will make all the difference in this battle. The Darkspawn have their own magic, and our resources must exceed theirs.
Will you fight with the King?
Of course, but I am no mage. Mages heal. They can call fire and ice down upon the enemy, and so much more. I sometimes wonder if the Chantry's many laws regarding magic are necessary. Darkspawn are a greater threat than blood mages, even abominations. It takes decades for the world to recover from a blight. I wish the Chantry could see that. We must stop at nothing to defeat the Darkspawn. Listen to me. An old man's rantings can't be very interesting.
I learned much from what you said.
You are too kind.
Duncan seems like a learned man, and knows a great deal more about mages than some of the Templars in the tower. Besides, we've been haunted all day by the thought of being tranquil, so it's almost impossible for us to resist asking. Do you know anything about the tranquil?
The mages whose connection to the Fade has been severed? Why do you ask?
They lose their ability to feel emotion.
So I've heard. It keeps them and those around them safe. Perhaps the sacrifice is worthwhile. I cannot say.
Can you tell me more about Grey Wardens and Darkspawn?
Certainly. I am intimately familiar with these subjects after all.
Have there been many Darkspawn attacks?
A horde has formed within the Korkari Wilds in the south. If they are not stopped, they will strike north into the valley. We Grey Wardens believe that an archdemon is leading the horde.
Archdemon?
Darkspawn do attack the surface in ragtag bands, but archdemons are capable of rallying the Darkspawn, turning them into an unstoppable force. A horde of Darkspawn, a veritable army. It is dire news indeed. I fear this is what we will have to face.
I thought the Darkspawn were destroyed in the last blight.
We can't seem to eradicate them completely. Somehow they always come back.
I'd like to talk more, but I have duties to attend to.
Of course. Don't let me keep you.
As we turn to leave, we see Jowan waiting for us just outside the door to Duncan's quarters. Changing into our new mage robes, we can approach him.
I'm glad I caught up to you. Are you done talking with Irving?
I think I am, for now.
I need to talk to you. Do you remember what we discussed this morning?
Why are you whispering? It looks very suspicious.
Shh! I just want to make sure we're not overheard. We should go somewhere else. I don't feel safe talking here.
You seem a little on edge.
I've been troubled. I'll explain. Come with me, please. We should be safe here.
You realize there's a priest standing right here.
Not a priest. I am merely an initiate.
There's something strange going on here.
A few months ago, I told you that I met a girl. This is Lily.
Ah, I was beginning to doubt her existence.
I was afraid to tell anyone. Lily was becoming a Chantry priest. She's taken vows. Lily's been given to the Chantry. She's not allowed to have relations with men. If anyone finds out, we'll both be in trouble.
You can trust me. I won't tell anyone.
Thank you. I knew you'd stand by me.
So what is this all about?
Remember I said that I didn't think they wanted to give me my Harrowing? I know why. They're going to make me tranquil. They'll take everything that I am from me. My dreams, hopes, fears, my love for Lily. All gone.
That sounds terrible.
They'll extinguish my humanity. I'll just be a husk, breathing and existing, but not truly living.
What are you going to do?
I need to escape. I need to destroy my phylactery. Without it, they can't track me down. We need your help. Lily and I can't do this on our own.
Give us your word that you will help, and we will tell you what we intend.
Now, there are many opportunities to refuse to help Jowan and Lily, to betray them to Irving, or to just help them outright. We are going for the latter option. Jowan is Salona's oldest and dearest friend. They grew up together. She wants to help him, and so she will. You have my word, Lily.
Thank you. We will never forget this.
So what do you intend to do?
I can get us into the repository, but there is a problem. There are 2 locks on the Phylactery Chamber door. The first Enchanter and Knight Commander each hold 1 key. But it is just a door. There is power enough in this place to destroy all of Ferelden. What's a door to mages?
What if it's a magical door?
We have no choice. We cannot get our hands on both keys. I once saw a rod of fire melt through a lock. You could get one from the stockroom, but Owain doesn't release such things to apprentices.
But we are no longer an apprentice. We are a full mage. I know what I have to do.
We should stay here. 1 mage at the stockroom will attract less attention than a mage, an apprentice, and an initiate.
Good idea.
Good luck. Our prayers go with you.
When the conversation with Jowan and Lily ends, we get a new codex page on the Tranquil. Although apprentices do not know the nature of the Harrowing, all of them understand its consequences. They either pass and become full mages, or they are never seen again. Those who fear to undertake this rite of passage, or those who are deemed weak or unstable, are given the rite of tranquility instead. The actual procedure, like the Harrowing, is secret, but the results are just as well known. The rite severs connection to the Fade. The Tranquil, therefore, do not dream. This removes the greatest danger that threatens a weak or unprepared mage, the potential to attract demons across the Veil. But this is the least of Tranquility's effects, for the absence of dreams brings with it the end of all magical ability, as well as all emotion. The Tranquil, ironically, resemble sleepwalkers, never entirely awake nor asleep. They are still part of our circle, however, and some might say they are the most critical part. They have incredible powers of concentration, for it is simply impossible to distract a Tranquil mage, and this makes them capable of becoming craftsmen of such skill that they rival even the adeptness of the dwarfs. The Formari, the branch of the circle devoted to item enchantment, is made up exclusively of Tranquil, and is the source of all the wealth that sustains our towers. From On Tranquility and the Role of the Fade in Human Society by First Enchanter Josephus. Heading back to Owain at the stockroom.
Welcome to the Circle's stockroom of magical items. My name is Owain. How may I assist you?
I need a rod of fire.
Rods of fire serve many purposes. Why do you wish to acquire this particular item?
What can the rods be used for?
Some mages require them for their research. Others merely want to light fireplaces.
I anticipate having to light a fireplace.
I will set down that you require the rod to deal with the personal matter. Here is the form, Request for Rod of Fire. Have it signed and dated by a senior enchanter. I will release a rod to you once I have the signed form.
I will be back shortly.
Thank you.
A senior enchanter needs to sign our form. Well, we met quite a few, including 2 in the library where we missed a codex page on the history of the Circle. It is a truth universally acknowledged that nothing is more successful at inspiring a person to mischief as being told not to do something. Unfortunately, the Chantry of the Divine Age had some trouble with obvious truths. Although it did not outlaw magic, quite the contrary, as the Chantry relied upon magic to kindle the eternal flame, which burns in every brazier in every Chantry, it relegated mages to lighting candles and lamps, perhaps occasional dusting of rafters and eaves. I will give my readers a moment to contemplate how well such a role satisfied the mages of the time. It surprised absolutely no one when the mages of Val Royeaux, in protest, snuffed the sacred flames of the cathedral and barricaded themselves inside the choir loft. No one, that is, but Divine Ambrosia II, who was outraged and attempted to order an exalted march upon her own cathedral. Even her most devout Templars discouraged that idea. For 21 days, the fires remained unlit while negotiations were conducted. Legend tells us by shouting back and forth from the loft. The mages went cheerily into exile in a remote fortress outside of the capital, where they would be kept under the watchful eye of the Templars and a council of their own elder magi. Outside of normal society and outside of the Chantry, the mages would form their own closed society, the Circle, separated for the first time in human history. From Of Fires, Circles, and Templars, A History of Magic in the Chantry by Sister Petrine, Chantry Scholar. But the senior enchanter we want to speak with was the one we couldn't talk to in the mage's laboratory, Senior Enchanter Leora.
Yes?
Can you sign this form for me?
Rod of Fire? No, I'm not signing this. I don't know what you need it for, and I barely know you. Ask someone else.
What's that door over there?
That leads to the Circle's cavern storerooms. There are caves running through the rock that the Circle is built upon. But of course, you know this.
Can I look inside the cavern?
No, I can't let anyone in there just now.
Why?
There are just things in there that I would prefer to keep safe.
What things?
Sensitive magical materials and substances, of course. I am in the midst of stock-taking, checking inventory, and I can't let anyone in there in case they mess things up. Yes.
So why are you out here and not in there?
Because I am taking a break. I hate the musty smell of caves, and Look, I'll tell you the truth. Just keep it to yourself. There is an infestation of spiders in the caves. I don't know how they got in there, but it's probably my fault. I was promoted to Senior Enchanter less than a fortnight ago, and I don't want anyone to find out. They'll think I'm incompetent.
If you sign this form, I'll deal with the spiders.
Oh, your form for the Rod of Fire. Yes, I could do that, if you clear out the infestation.
All right, I'll do it.
Wonderful. Here is the key. Oh, and be careful in there. I'd really like to keep the damage done to the Circle's property to a minimum.
Taking a deep breath, we head into the caverns. What's a few spiders to a mage? Well, it's a lot harder than it looks, but winding our way through each tunnel of the caves, we're able to eliminate all the spiders.
You're back! Are the spiders gone?
I've dealt with your infestation.
Oh, wonderful. You're a lifesaver. Now, where was that form you wanted me to sign?
Here it is.
Right. There you go. How's that?
Excellent. Thank you.
It was a pleasure. You'll go far in the Circle, I bet.
Now all that's left to do is head back to Owain to get our Rod of Fire.
Welcome to the Circle's stockroom of magical items. My name is Owain. How may I assist you?
Here's the signed form for the Rod of Fire.
Everything looks to be in order. Here is the rod you requested.
Heading back to Jowan and Lily.
I hate waiting. It makes me nervous.
I have the Rod of Fire.
That was quick.
To the repository, then. Freedom awaits.
With Lily and Jowan following, we can head down to the lower level of the tower, and there we find the basement entrance to the repository. Nothing could be more different than the warm, cozy interior of the upper floors. Approaching the door,
the Chantry calls this entrance the Victim's Door. It is built of 277 planks, one for each original Templar. It is a reminder of all the dangers those cursed with magic pose.
But how do we get past it?
The doors can be opened only by a Templar and a mage entering together. The Chantry provides the password, which primes the ward, and the mage touches it with mana to release it.
So what must I do?
First, the password. Sword of the Maker, Tears of the Fane.
What was that?
The password only primes the door. Now it must feel the touch of mana. Any spell will do, but hurry.
Step 1 finished. Approaching a second door.
Do you have the rod with you? Melt the locks off.
What's the matter? Why isn't it working?
Lily, something's not right. I can't cast spells here. Nothing works.
These wards carved into the stone. This must be the Templars' work. They negate any magic cast within this area. I should have guessed. Why would Gregor and Irving use simple keys for such a door? Because magical keys don't work. How do you keep mages away from something? Make their powers completely worthless. That's it then. We're finished. We can't get in.
That door there, where does it lead?
I don't know. Do you think it's another way in?
That door probably leads to another part of the repository. What are the chances of there being another entrance?
Do we have a choice?
No. I'll take any chance I can get.
We can't get into the chamber the way we planned, but we're not about to give up. We can see where this door leads, but I don't think it'll be easy. It looks locked for one.
The rod will work on those locks, shouldn't it?
Yes. Let's hope they haven't warded that door as well.
Let's hurry. We've wasted enough time.
Approaching the other door.
I'm not giving up. We've come too far.
Suddenly, the statue in the hallway comes to life and attacks us. It must be some sort of failsafe. As we make our way through the basement, we will fight many statues until we finally come to some sort of magical storeroom. Inside a chest here, we can loot a blackened heartwood staff, knowing we probably shouldn't take anything from a room like this. Ahead, we see a strange statue and a crumbling wall behind a bookcase. Examining the statue.
There's something odd about that statue.
Why would this be here?
How should I know? It's magical. This is a room of magical objects.
Greetings.
Maker's breath, did it just say something?
I am the essence and spirit of Eleni Zenobia, once consort and advisor to Archon Valerius. Prophecy my crime, cursed to stone for foretelling the fall of my lord's house.
What is it talking about?
Forever shall you stand on the threshold of my proud fortress, he said, and tell your lies to all who pass. But my lord found death at the hands of his enemies, and his once proud fortress crumbled to dust, as I foretold.
A Tevinter statue! Don't listen to it. The Tevinter lords dabbled in many forbidden arts. This is a wicked thing.
How did a Tevinter statue get here?
It must have been here for years. Look at the dust. I feel a little sorry for it. Her.
Weep not for me, child. Stone they made me, and stone I am, eternal and unfeeling. And I shall endure till the Maker returns to light their fires again.
What does that mean?
Ambiguous rubbish. It could mean anything. I can do it too. The sun grows dark, but lo, here comes the dawn.
Stop talking to it. Please, both of you.
We can't do much with it anyway.
Come on, Jowan. Let's go.
We get a codex page on the Tevinter Imperium. The Imperium is little more than a dilapidated old slattern, crouching in the far north of Thedas, drunkenly cursing at passers-by to recall her faded beauty. One can see that Minrathos was once the center of the world. The vestiges of her power and artistry yet stand, but they are buried in the layers of filth that the Imperium's decadence has accumulated over the ages. The magocracy live in elegant stone towers, literally elevated above the stench of the slaves and peasants below. The outskirts of Minrathos are awash in a sea of refugees turned destitute by the never-ending war between the Imperium and the Qunari. And yet the Imperium survives. Whether with sword or magic, Tevinter remains a force to be reckoned with. Minrathos has been besieged by men, by Qunari, by Andraste herself, and never fallen. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genetivi. We can then examine the statue in front of the bookcase.
What do you think this does?
Why does the Circle keep so many Tevinter artifacts in storage?
It's history, Lily. And it's fascinating.
I can't imagine what this does, though.
I've seen pictures of things like this. They amplify any spell cast into them. I bet we could use this to break into the Phylactery Chamber.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
It's our best option. See where the mortar might be decaying behind that bookcase? Let's take a closer look.
Taking a closer look at the bookcase.
It should be pretty easy to get this out of the way.
You'll have to help me then.
If we work together, we can shift it. Come on. Now we just need to find a way to get through this wall.
Heading back to the Tevinter statue.
As you desire.
Use this with the rod. I'm sure it'll work. Hurry, the clock's ticking.
And that's it. We have our doorway to the Phylactery Chamber.
This is the Phylactery Chamber. It worked.
We must find Jowan's phylactery, quickly.
Where would it be?
With the other apprentice phylacteries, I imagine.
Let's look around then.
It shouldn't be hard to find. There aren't many phylacteries here.
But of course, we are attacked once again by statues and guardian sentinels as we move about the room. Defeating them and heading up the stairs, we see the storage of blood vials.
Of course.
That's my phylactery! You found it! I can't believe this tiny vial stands between me and freedom. So fragile. So easy just to be rid of it. To end its hold over me. And I am free.
The sooner we're out of here, the better.
I do not want to stay here a moment longer.
That's step 2 finished. Now all we have to do is get Jowan and Lily out of the tower, and this whole ordeal is done. Leaving the basement.
We did it! I can't believe it! Thank you. We could never have...
So what you said was true.
This looks bad.
Gregor.
An initiate conspiring with a blood mage. I'm disappointed, Lily. She seems shocked, but fully in control of her own mind. Not a thrall of the blood mage, then. You were right, Irving. The initiate has betrayed us. The Chantry will not let this go unpunished. And this one. Newly a mage and already flouting the rules of the Circle.
I'm disappointed in you. You could have told me what you knew of this plan, and you didn't.
You don't care for the mages. You just bow to the Chantry's every whim.
We messed up. We made a huge mistake, but we were just trying to help our friend. We didn't want to see him become tranquil, but the First Enchanter has only ever been kind to us. We know he cares about the mages in the tower. The First Enchanter does what he can to protect us.
Enough! As Knight Commander of the Templars here assembled, I sentence this blood mage to death. And this initiate has scorned the Chantry and her vows. Take her to Aenar.
The mage's prison. No. Please, no. Not there.
No! I won't let you touch her!
By the Maker. Blood magic. How could you? You said you never...
I admit, I dabbled. I thought it would make me a better mage.
Blood magic is evil, Jowan. It corrupts people, changes them.
I'm going to give it up. All magic. I just want to be with you, Lily. Please, come with me.
I trusted you. I was ready to sacrifice everything for you. I don't know who you are, Blood Mage. Stay away from me.
Are you all right? Where's Gregor?
I knew it. Blood magic. To overcome so many. I never thought him capable of such power.
How could we have been so blind, so foolish? Did we know the truth deep down? Did we know deep down? Were we just refusing to see the truth in front of us? He lied to me.
None of us expected this. Are you all right, Gregor?
As good as can be expected given the circumstances. If you had let me act sooner, this would not have happened. Now we have a blood mage on the loose and no way to track him down.
Yes, Jowan destroyed his phylactery.
Where is the girl?
I am here, sir.
You helped a blood mage. Look at all he's hurt.
Poor Lily. She didn't know either. You forced Jowan's hand.
Knight Commander, I was wrong. I was accomplice to a blood mage. I will accept whatever punishment you see fit. Even Aenar.
Get her out of my sight! And you know why the repository exists? Some artifacts, some magics are locked away for a reason.
Did you take anything important from the repository?
We knew it was wrong. We were caught up in the moment, the danger, the thrill. We see our error now, though. Yes, the staff.
Shall we add thievery to your list of misdemeanors, then? I'll be taking that back now, if you don't mind.
But your antics have made a mockery of this circle! What are we to do with you?
As horrible as we feel, as ready as we are to accept our punishment, we could not live with ourselves had we betrayed Jowan's trust, whether he betrayed ours or not. Or worse, see Jowan made tranquil. Unlike our friend, we are not afraid of the consequences of our actions. Do what you like. I stand by my decision to help Jowan.
You helped a blood mage escape! All our prevention measures for naught! Because of you!
Knight Commander, if I may, I'm not only looking for mages to join the King's army, I'm also recruiting for the Grey Wardens. Irving spoke highly of this mage, and I would like her to join the Warden ranks.
Duncan, this mage has assisted a Malefica, and shown no lack of regard for the Circle's rules.
She is a danger. To all of us!
It is a rare person who risks all for a friend in need. I stand by my decision. I will recruit this mage.
No! I refuse to let this go unpunished!
Gregor is right. I should face the consequences.
Perhaps not all our lessons have been lost. She knows her place.
Don't be a fool. You have assisted a Malefica. You must know what awaits you in the Circle.
Tranquility?
A waste of your gift. I offer you something more.
What's he doing? Stop him! You're not taking this mage away!
You know Duncan can invoke the right of conscription if he wishes. We must comply.
The right of what?
If the Grey Wardens wish to conscript someone, neither Lord nor King can deny them.
Then I shall let my fate be decided for me.
Rhaegar, mages are needed. This mage is needed. Worse things plague this world than blood mages. You know that. I take this young mage under my wing and bear all responsibility for her actions.
A blood mage escapes and his accomplice is not only unpunished, but is rewarded by becoming a Grey Warden. Are our rules nothing? Have we lost all authority over our mages? This does not bode well, Irving.
Enough. We have no more say in this matter.
So I am to be a Grey Warden?
Yes. Be proud, child. You are luckier than you know.
Thank you for everything, First Enchanter.
Come. Your new life awaits.
This was just one possible identity of the future hero of Ferelden. In the next part, we will travel deep into the forests and explore the final possible origin story, that of the Dalish elf. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing for more content like this every week on my channel. Thank you so very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.